Lorraine Lopez loves. Thank you for tuning in. And this week, Lorraine Lopez loves Gabi Conti.
Oh my gosh, I'm so flattered.
I am so happy to have you today. This is exciting. We actually met 10 years ago.
Yeah, when I first moved to LA.
It's crazy. And you were doing stand-up, I think, when we did an improv class together.
Class. Yeah, UCB. Did it. Yeah. Nailed it.
We only did one class together, though,
One class. I did all four, but I never pursued improv because I like stand-up or storytelling so much more. Yeah. And sketch better. Yeah.
I do, too.
Yeah.
I like to watch it still, though.
Yeah.
I forget about it, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
I actually have a UCB show this Wednesday I'm excited about.
That you're going to or you're performing
I'm in it.
Oh, my gosh, look at you. That's
I know.
amazing.
I'm excited, but I'm doing stand-up. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a really fun place to do stand-up.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, Gabi Conti is a stand-up comedian, host, writer for Cosmo, Hello Giggle. You've written for a bunch of different things.
Yeah, and soon to be author in the spring.
Yes.
I have a book coming out, 20 Guys You Date in Your 20s with Chronicle. It'll be in Urban Outfitters and on Amazon and all that fun stuff.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
You just did an article for Cosmo, right? It was 30 dates in 3 days.
Yeah, so I did the article. The article came out around the 4th of July. And then I had recorded myself the whole time I was going on these dates and like had saved everything, like text messages, like profiles, my own profiles. And so the head of video at Cosmo reached out and said if I would do a video of it. And so I sent her everything and we put everything together and I shot like, an intro, outro, whatever. And we made a video. So that video is currently on Cosmo's YouTube and that's been like blowing up right now, which is crazy.
It's so good. I just watched it again today. And it's just, you are like, you look tired. You're like, all right, I'm on my 4th date. This is gonna. I'm just like, how? And before when I saw that on your Instagram, I had thought for some reason it was 30 dates in 30 days.
That's what everyone thinks. And so I have to always say it's 30 dates in 3 days. Yes, you read that right. Like it was
crazy.
3 days. Yes.
And I just told someone, I was like, yeah, Gabi did this thing, 30 dates in 30 days, and he was like, holy smokes, that's ridiculous.
No,
Are you
3 days.
Me? Yeah,
no, I
know.
Again.
I told him 30.
Oh, in 30 days.
And he was like, I can't believe that. That's crazy. And I'm like, I can't wait to tell him it was 3
days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did any of those dates work out?
No, because I mean, basically I had just gotten out of this like crazy relationship. I had moved to New York for love, which I do not recommend. Don't do it. And I came back to LA and I was like starting to date again and I had a hard time dating. And so I started a series on my Instagram called Daily Date where I record myself before and after dates. And my Cosmo editor saw it and she's like, can we turn this into an article? And that's how the 30 dates in 3 days came about. But I mean, I felt some connections at the time, like there were some that were good, but most was just more like it's the chemistry thing, right? And you can't put your finger on what chemistry is, how it works. You can't see that on an app. It's there or it isn't. And a lot of these cases, it wasn't. I mean, but I did have like some of them were decent. Then we went on second dates, and then after the second date, I was kind of like, I can't do this. So it was a quick way of eliminating dating a lot of people. I think.
Yeah. Is it so? I know you. One of them, you were like, oh shoot, I didn't realize that one of the guys you went on a date with, you had already been on a date with.
Two of them. Two of the guys I had already been on dates. So one that was messaging me, I had no idea that I had actually went on a date when I first moved out here. So probably he may have seen our UCB show. Like, who knows?
Oh, my gosh.
Like, we went on a couple of dates, and I did remember him when he said that, and I put 2 and 2 together. And then another guy I had dated in 2016, and we went on a couple of dates, and there was chemistry. And we had a really great date as part of the 30 dates. And we went on a really great second date, and then he moved to Boston. Yeah. I never told him about this, by the way. Like, because I'm like, you're moving to Boston, I don't need to tell you. Like, you'll either find out or you won't find out. Like, it's fine, So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that's super cool. So you think, because I started realizing, I feel like usually I would go on a date with someone and then it would take me, I would go on like 4 more dates after, even though I didn't feel chemistry. And I was like, I don't know, maybe it's going to happen. And then I realized like that was just wasting my time.
That's wasting your time. I think if anything, 2 dates, sure. And then after the second date, if you're not feeling it, and actually some of the guys, I went on a second date and then they asked me on a third and I was like, honestly, I wasn't feeling it. And one of the guys was like arguing with me about it. And I'm like, yo, bro, I told you I'm not into, like, why are you wasting your time?
I love that. I love that you really, third date, you're like, I just wasn't feeling it.
If you're not feeling it, also, why waste someone else's time
and
energy?
For sure. No, but I'm like, I will use another excuse. No. I feel bad, but you're right. But people argue.
If I don't want to make out with you by the second date, I probably don't want to make out with you ever.
Yeah. Damn.
And so why push that? You
True.
know?
There is a guy that I am dating, and I feel like I did not think the second date I still was like, I don't know. Third date I was like, and then after all of a sudden I was like, oh, now I feel all this emotion.
I've heard people say that too. That for me personally has never happened. So that's kind of why I'm keeping it the whole like 2-date rule. Because like, yeah, I'm Italian. I'm a very passionate person. I need the passion, or else I can't pursue. And I'm a Cancer on top of it. Like, you know, I just need to feel that emotional connection. Otherwise, like, I can't do it.
I think I've just had so much crazy connections with the wrong people that now I'm like, oh, I'm going to be safe. And this person seems like he's not going to be crazy and he's not going to like, you know. So
no, I've done that. But there is the right balance. Like there's someone that you will have crazy chemistry with who's actually a good guy. Yeah. You will find him. He's out there. You might have to go on a lot of dates to find him, but he's there. I don't suggest 30 in 3 days. Okay. I finally have recovered. It took months.
Wow. Yeah. So after that, were you tired of dating for a while?
After that, I was pretty jaded with dating, and I kind of literally could not. Like I could not. I literally couldn't even. I was over it. I just even like socializing with friends was exhausting. But I ended up like going on a couple of more. But then I would go on like 3 dates or maybe like a week. You know, like that was more like my speed.
Yeah, wow.
And I just like, and then I would get into like little situationships and then that was kind of it for me. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. Okay. There's something else I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It's okay.
Also, by the way, from the last podcast, people were like, who's that funny mystery man? And guys, it's Nolan Culver.
Oh, me?
Okay, yes.
I actually did not know who you meant for a second.
Oh, yeah, you. I was like, because we were like, who? And I didn't even realize. And I'm like, so guys, he's a stand-up comedian, also engineer, producer, killing it. He's married.
What up?
There we go.
I try to speak when spoken to.
Yeah. Oh, you could chime in anytime. If I'm missing something because I just forgot what I was going to say. It's the rosé.
No, it's the rosé. This is delicious rosé, by the way. Good. You need a rosé sponsor.
Yeah. Just keep drinking it and it'll happen.
Now looking for sponsors. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Please, rosé. I love red wine. I drink everything.
It's delicious.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I was looking at some of your articles that I absolutely loved. And this whole thing, like you just said earlier, Caspering. Yeah. You had an article about zombieing.
Yeah. So there's all these, like, the last time I was single, it was just ghosting. Like, that was it. And now there's Caspering. And I went on a date with a guy, and we were, like, dating. Like, kind of, like, almost like you were 15. Like, I don't know. Not 15 dates. I was, like, we had gone on, like, 8 dates in, like, 2 weeks. It was like something crazy like that. And he lived close to me too. So it was like really convenient, you know? And so we had this like and we hadn't even had sex yet. That's the crazy thing. We hadn't even had sex yet. We were just going on these dates, but we were like having sleepovers, which is like, really, like, why are you having that? I was like, get out of my apartment, but like, whatever. Anyway. And we were having brunch one day, and he's like, yeah, and then I Caspered her. And I'm like, what? And he could have just said, I'll show you in a week. But instead, he explained to me it was friendly ghosting. And then a week later, he took me out to this really nice dinner. We finally hooked up. And after that, I never heard from him again. But then I reached out because I was finally like, I started dating someone else, this guy who was like, oh my God, like really like, but that ended up not working out either. I started dating this other guy who, and I was like, worried that this other guy I was dating was like, I would be hanging out with him in the neighborhood, and the guy lived in the neighborhood. And so I thought I'd like send him a text that he like didn't ask for that was just like, hey, it seems like we've drifted apart. Like, I just wanted to let you know if I ever see you in the neighborhood, like, no hard feelings. And he like wrote back like 12 hours later, but that was his MO. And he's like, whoa, wait. Why do you have to be so final about it? I thought we could grab a drink sometime. Like, he wanted to keep me in his rotation, but not put in the work.
No.
And I'm like, no, sure, let's grab a drink. Like, never heard from him. But he's orbiting me now, and he watches every single Instagram story I post. And you follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of stories. Like, why are you still looking, bro?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Oh gosh, and I hate that he even explained the Caspering.
And then he did it, and now I know he's orbiting me. But I would never want to reconnect with this person.
Orbiting just means that he's just spying. You hope that he can get you back eventually.
Yeah, no. So orbiting
what
is
does that mean?
like he's.
I'm married. I don't do these.
Yeah, so like I mean, there's again, these are like all these terrible dating terms that have happened in the past couple of years. Orbiting means like he's keeping tabs on you. He's watching your shit. He's looking at your shit because he wants you to see that you see he's looking at it, right?
Oh,
and so
he wants that.
He wants to keep you.
Or does he know? Do you guys know that? Do you know, Nolan, that you could see when people watch your story?
On story, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's
I joke that like my love language is like. I joke that my love language is watching my stories on Instagram.
Yeah.
And like it really is. And so like it's like manipulative. And so I would see it. So orbiting is like he has no intention of. I mean, he has my number. He has no intention of ever seeing me again. But he just wants to like maintain in my like peripheral vision.
Yeah.
And so there's that. And so that happened. And then and then the most recent thing that happened to me was a guy had ghosted me when I first started daily dates. And I assumed it was from that. And this was like way back in June. And also I assumed it was because he sent me a text message after our date. And the text message was, "What's occupying the Gabster?" And I'm like, oh, we're like nickname official? Like, cool. So I sent him it back. I was like, "What's occupying," changing his name, "the Seanster?" And he never responded. And so I was like, oh my God, I won't use that nickname. Nothing. A day later, still nothing. I'm like, Sean, all caps, nothing.
No.
A week later, because I lost all my dignity like 3 text messages ago, I just said to him, I said, "I guess you found me on Instagram." Nothing.
Wow.
3 months later,
Look at this, you did it again.
3 months later, we had met on Bumble. 3 months later, I see him on Hinge. And we match. And of course, the first thing I'm going to go is like, "I thought you died." And he like explained about how like his ex came back into the picture and his mom was sick. And he's like, "But I would really love a second chance." And I was like, "Yeah, I believe in second chances. Like, let's do this." So we like grab happy hour that night that we met. Like we rematched.
Oh, wow.
And we end up like dating for this like intense week. And then he does it again.
No.
He flakes on plans with me without giving me like a heads up. And I like reached out being like, "Are we on?" He's like, "Yeah, maybe later." And then like later came and I was like, "Hey, like what's happening?" He's like, "I'm sorry, I messed up." And I'm like, "All good." And then I went to sleep to this show called Designing Women, which I highly recommend. It's from the late 80s. And it's like these Southern women who work at this design firm and they say stuff like, "And furthermore," and like they rant a lot. Like one of these characters, her name's Julia Sugarbaker. She always goes on these, like she tells it like it is. She tells people off. I fell asleep to her telling someone off. I shot out of bed at 2 a.m. and decided to text him. And I was like, "You know what? No, it was not okay. It's not fine. You clearly don't respect me. That's why you ghosted me. And now you zombied me. And you didn't even like we went on a date where he like asked me to split a $20 tab on a date he asked me out on. I was like, "You clearly don't respect me. This is over. We're good. Goodbye." And that was that.
Wow, good for you.
That's awesome.
That was that.
So do you think, is dating really hard when you do your comedy and you do your like material on dating? Is it really like, because you want to find love?
Yeah, my goal has always been, as Lorraine, I'm sure that's your goal,
my goal
right?
too.
Like
that is my goal.
We want to find love. We're not like doing this for like our
Is that your
health.
article?
That's my article.
Okay.
Yeah. So like,
they can see it too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, my goal has always been to find love, but it's just like, yeah, it's hard out there. And I think what I realized, and that's what I realized through this experiment, because a lot of the guys that I had good first dates with on the experiment, and then we went on a second date, they started getting all weird because they're like, "Oh, you're a writer. Like, what are you going to write about me?" And I think it comes down to that as a performer, we just need a confident man. A confident man who knows he likes us, who's really comfortable in his skin, who could take a joke.
Exactly.
To just like be there and be supportive. And like also, I can't date guys in the industry because it's competitive.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's competitive. Like the last guy, that guy who the ghost zombie, whatever, he was also a writer. And I read him an article that I wrote, a Cosmo article, like a draft. And he looks at me like I just told him his like cat died. And he was like, I'm just assuming he's a cat person because there was something creepy about him. Like his cat died. And he's like, "Wow, you're a really good writer," in a way that wasn't a compliment.
Yeah.
And it's coming from
he's threatened.
He's threatened. Yeah. Like I have a byline. He's a ghostwriter. Like I get it. Like there's a competition, and there shouldn't be, because the right partner should want you, like you're a team. You should be supporting each other.
Yeah. That's so crazy. Gosh.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice. Like, why am I so out of it?
No, it's okay.
But no. So yeah, I do feel that Nolan?
Do you want some of my no sugar added almond milk latte?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Well, it's so funny you're trying to throw to me because I'm like, I'm like still hungover from 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So I'm
not
super
even
cloudy.
hungover.
Yeah.
I've been resting all day.
Oh.
It's been really nice.
No, I had the kind of blackout. I don't know how many times you guys have blacked out in your life, but the last time I did it was about 10 years ago, and I just had a surprise. Wow. You ever just like, I don't know if you've ever done it where you're like, I had no plans to be blacking out. It was just supposed to be hanging out, a little bit of drinking.
That's the best type.
Oh, yeah.
And then a full-blown blackout. Like, yeah, like calling my wife in the middle of the night, can't even talk.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was just, it was brutal.
Well, that's cute, though. That you're calling her.
Yeah, I still think about it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like you're on vacation. That's what I call blackouts are vacations. Because it's like you leave without leaving, you know? Like, much cheaper, too.
Okay, I just remembered what I was gonna say.
Yes.
Is I do remember one time I was dating this guy, and then one time, and I wasn't even doing stand up yet.
Yeah.
But I was just like writing comedy stuff, and he was like, "You're gonna write about this, aren't you?" Over a situation that we had. I said, "No, I'm not gonna write about this. This is crazy." But he was so upset about it. And then later on, this is the problem. So when you ghost girls. And when you are like a dick, in the end, you are going to write about it. Because why not? I'm never going to see you again and it's over. But that's the difference when you're dating someone. And if I really like you, I would never want to like hurt you. I would be more respectful in that way. But a lot of guys that I do talk about, it's like I never saw them again.
Well, yeah, because you would only, because what's funny is bad behavior, right? Like whenever a guy acts out, or maybe you do something that you're embarrassed about, and that's why the relationship ends. Like you're going to talk about that because, right, comedy is tragedy plus time, and it was tragic at the time, but now you've moved on.
Yeah.
Like who wants to hear about a happy relationship?
No.
Like I don't. Like unless it's like about the things that your partner does that like it annoys you. You know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've also had this, which I don't know what this could be called, but have you ever dated a guy and then he basically like, it's like maybe it was like kind of felt serious, and then it like he kind of started pulling away.
Oh, yeah, the instant boyfriend. I write about this in my book. So my book actually, I broke down the 20 different types of relationships that you'll get in when you're single, mostly written from being in my 20s, and I'm sure that they still exist anytime you're single in life. And that's one. So it's like starts off hot and heavy, like they start treating you like you're their girlfriend, and then all of a sudden they'll pull away, and when you're like, wait, I thought we had something serious, they'll be like, what are you talking about? You made that up in your head, crazy woman. And you're like, I wasn't the one texting me. Like you texted me all this. Yeah.
And also then when you like kind of like figure it out, you're like, okay, this is done.
Yeah.
And then you don't talk for a while, and then they do come back hardcore, like, when can I see you? When can I see you? When can I see you? Then they take you out, and they're like the night of your life, and then they're like the next day again, gone.
Yep. That
over
is...
and over and I made that mistake with someone, and after a while I was like, this is just it was ridiculous. It just became, but no, that was, I don't think I've...
That's you were recycling.
That was
Yeah, you should have just dumped him. That was the guy you always go back to because he always is enticing, and you'll never have him, and so you'll go back to him because he offers it. Convenient. Yeah, sure, of course. Why wouldn't you want to be wined and dined and probably have great sex? I'm assuming. Like, why would you not want that experience?
True, it was. It was always a fun night.
And then you forget, but the thing that you forget. You're so caught up into the experiment and the fun nights that you forget the bottom line is that he keeps disappearing and that he doesn't treat you well.
And also watching every Insta story. This is another
orbiting
thing.
you. Stop it,
but also, okay, this is another thing that this guy specifically did, and most guys do, is I notice when you start dating someone, all of a sudden when they first want to date you, they like every post you do on social media.
Yeah.
But then once you start dating, they don't. You're seeing them on a regular basis, but they will not like a picture. Why?
I remember this. Yes, I used to. Well, so my ex, I used to fight with him with this all the time. And then also, I remember dating someone when like Twitter just came out. I had a boyfriend when Twitter came out, and he would be like, what were you up to today? Actually, I know you tweeted about it. Like, you know, it was like that whole kind of thing. But I think it is. Yeah, they think they have too much. So I think that when you do get into a relationship, you have to remember boundaries and space, and you have to do your own thing because that's what makes a relationship last. When you're not seeing each other every day, and you leave a little bit of mystery. Like my parents have been married for 40 years. My mom still like surprises my dad.
No, that's cute.
Or like, keeps things a mystery or doesn't tell him what she's doing all the time. Like one time my mom just like went to New York from Connecticut and didn't tell my dad. Like just like because she wanted to, just she's like keeps them guessing.
That's wonderful.
That's why their marriage lasts.
Yeah.
I notice you have so Johnny's the last 5 dates.
Yeah, so Johnny, I could tell you about that. Interesting story about Johnny. Also, names have been changed, pictures have been changed. I made the mistake of reading the comments on the YouTube video, and also I've been getting like a lot of men are very angry about this article. I have been told that I am. One guy was like, "Oh, what is a solid 6.5 doing, racking in all these guys that are clearly out of her league?" And then a guy commented under it, being like, "Actually, she's a solid 5." And I'm like, "Okay, guys."
God.
I was gonna say solid 6.5 is almost a compliment.
It
Like
is
no matter how you categorize
I'll
it,
take
that's
a 6.5.
that's pretty good.
In LA. Sure, great, awesome,
especially when you say solid.
solid.
Because that means that there's room for growth.
Yeah,
You know?
we changed. So I changed all the names of the guys, and then also in the video, the names were changed, and we covered their faces. And in some cases, we put stock photos because I didn't have the pictures of all of the guys. Legally, we could show their face, but not their eyes. Like I guess that's like legally okay.
And did they know they were on this?
No, actually, I haven't heard. To be honest with you, I haven't heard from any of these men.
Oh wow!
With the exception of 2, from this I got 2 friends. I have one friend, Sal, who he went on a date with me. We shot another date after the whole thing, and his name is Sam, and he was able to be on camera because like they wanted to see a date, so we're like, let's redo our date. And then we also had another guy, Brian, his name doesn't have an asterisk next to it, and he's a friend of mine. And we went on a friend date that was very much needed in between these like 30 dates. But Johnny was interesting. So Johnny was a guy, I met him. He was my last date, and I don't know if I was just delirious from all the dates, but he was very good looking, and according to the comments on my YouTube, I guess too good looking for me.
Oh,
Out of my league, all these men. But yeah, we had a really great time. We had really great drinks, and then we ended up hanging out for 6 hours, and I told him about the experiment during that 6 hours, and instead of being scared by it or threatened by it, he was like embracing it. And so like that's kind of what I needed at that time, like what you were saying before, like a guy who gets it, and it felt like he got it. So we had a great date. Article came out. He was like really sweet about the article. He had sent me like he messaged me. It was like 4th of July weekend when the article came out. He texted me like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm at a friend's pool party. What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm in whatever state he's from. I'm not gonna give details, whatever." And he's like, "I miss you." And like so like all of a sudden he started treating me like a girlfriend. He did that like weird thing, and and we like FaceTimed, and I'm like, why are we FaceTiming? But like I had too much rosé, so I was like, sure, let's FaceTime. And we like FaceTimed, and then like I had a shoot on like a Sunday, and he was coming back on a Saturday, and he like texted me on Saturday like at midnight when he landed. He's like, "I just got in, like what are you doing?" And like that's what a boyfriend would do.
Yeah.
And I was sleeping, and so I woke up the next morning and be like, "Sorry, I was sleeping. I have a shoot now." And he's like, "Well, I have to see you after." And I'm like, "Okay." So like after my shoot, I sent him a message, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm done with my shoot." And he doesn't respond.
No.
And so I do the double text, not because I care, but because I'm figuring out my Sunday night. I have work, I have deadlines. I'm like, so I text him again like an hour later. I'm like, "Did you still want to meet up?" "Watching Stranger Things" is what he responds. That's it. And I'm like, okay.
Weird.
And so I go about my night. I'm hanging out with my neighbor, and then I get a text from him at like 10 p.m. and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm hanging out with my neighbor." And he's like, "Can I steal you for a second?" And I'm like,
What? Did you do it?
"Yeah, of course I did it. Do I have any self-respect at this point? No." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, come over." So he comes over, and he like kisses me like he's been away for war for like a year. And he's like, "I missed you so much. I've been thinking about this moment for so much." And I wanted to be like, "You're a stranger. Like we are strangers. Like you don't know me. Like, and I just exploited you on Cosmo. Like, why are you giving me this love I don't deserve? This love, quote unquote." And so he like, and we end up like hooking up, and then he like leaves, and I'm like, "Great, good." Because like I'm really like after that breakup, like sleepovers were like just not for me.
Yeah.
Like I just need my space. And then I never heard from him again.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
It's
It
just
was
people,
weird.
like, even as much as I feel like you want to be, like, you need that fix of, like, just love. And then sometimes I realize I'm like, am I addicted to love? Like, I don't know.
You might be. I might be. I don't know. I love love.
But
Love
these
is
guys
great.
are doing, that's what they, like, think that passionate, like, don't fucking do that
Yeah,
shit.
because to me, I'm like, I feel like there's 2 things with dates, right? Like, and for a while after my ex, this is how I was feeling. I was like, I could either handle a date that feels more like a friend date, right? And like have good conversation, do something fun, whatever. Or I could have the booty call. But the in-between is where it gets really complicated for me. And I'm finally at a place where I'm able now to do the in-between. But it took a while. It was hard.
Yeah, I actually had not too recently, but I, for the first time, had like a conversation with someone and we were like, this is just sex and we're really good friends.
That's amazing.
And that was perfect, but I could tell that certain things I would say would just start annoying him. So he wasn't treating me as nice anymore.
Oh,
so
no.
I was like, I think it was, he couldn't handle it.
Because it was just sex. It's also in my book, the guy who texts you sup after 2 a.m., the booty call. I just how to handle that, how to navigate that.
But that is, the thing is, like, if you know and a lot of people are okay with that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's dating 101. It's just being on the same page, right? Like
Being on the same page,
Yeah,
for
expectations
sure.
ruins dating. When you expect it to be a thing that it's not, or you try to make something that it's not, that's when you you go into the sea of blue text, unanswered text messages.
I think this is a time too for women where I think like even 10 years ago that wasn't even a thing where like booty calls, like you wouldn't tell anyone or this, or you're just like, but now it's like we're sexual people and it's actually like so fun now to see. I've like done stand up at some colleges.
Yeah.
And I would do some crazy stuff and the girls are just like, I'm a polygamist and I know I do this, and I'm just like, this is so fucking awesome.
I know, because when we were like in our 20s,
You
or
couldn't,
we
you were
couldn't, there
not.
was nothing. It was either you were gay, you were straight, that was it, right?
And I had one friend who was single and now she would have sex with all these guys and have all these romances. You were just like, oh, she's just so like crazy, like where she's out of control, and you're like, oh no, that's just
normal.
Yeah,
and it's
that's
normal to like, and you should, if you don't say what you want in dating, in sex, whatever, you're not going to get it. So you might as well like communicate. That was the thing I learned from my book, is like communication is like the cornerstone, which is obvious, cornerstone for any relationship. Like you need to be on the same page, you need to be talking. And you need to make sure that everyone's needs are met. Otherwise, what are you doing?
I think that's what I really need to work on, because I'm so bad at communicating.
You got to get good at it.
And I know even in the whole situation, and I'm just going to tell this guy not to listen to this episode.
Yeah.
But like,
He's going to listen now.
He's going to listen now. He's listening.
Tell him to
Should I
listen
not?
to every episode
And then
that
you
you
won't
don't
listen.
want him to. Yeah. Then you'd be like, listen to it, and then he won't. But he'd be like, pick a innocuous one and be like, you can't listen to that. And then he'll listen to that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Right?
Okay, I don't know.
I mean, you're a
I
guy.
was
If it was
trusting
reversed-
him. I was gonna trust him and
If
be
it
like,
was-
you're not gonna listen, right?
No. If it was reversed though, and he had a podcast talking about his love life, and he told you, don't listen to this one.
I wouldn't.
How much-
No, I wouldn't listen to it, but I would have my friends listen to it
Yeah,
and tell me. Okay,
that's the same
okay.
There you
thing.
go. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way.
I might do the
Okay.
same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like I don't even know, because it feels like it's becoming something and it feels really nice. And I'm just like, oh, this is great. I'm just going to go with it and fill it out. But also at every moment, I am terrified that I'm going to get ghosted or zombied or I don't
No.
or Caspered. I don't know.
But has he, okay, so there's twofold to this. So has he ever done it? Has he ghosted you?
No.
He always gets back to you, right?
Yes.
So you have to rest that. But at the same time, you should communicate with him that you don't like how your communication has been.
Well, in like face to face, he is so communicative.
Right.
Like he's so great, but just like on the phone, not really.
How
So
old
you
is
have
he?
to, yeah.
If I may.
Like 34.
Yeah, he should be good on the
I
phone.
was gonna
Does he
say,
have a
should be
job?
better.
Does he respond to the emails that he has to?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
he should be
he's-
responsive to your text messages.
Yeah.
And especially if you tell him, like, because sometimes you have to spell things out to guys. You have to be like, hey, look, just to let you know, like, I'm really enjoying this, but like, I need you to be a little bit more responsive. I need a response for a text message, and I need it not 4 hours from now. I need it like in a decent amount of time.
And I keep thinking to myself, I'm like, well, that's fine with me because but I'm always in relationships that are not really relationships. And it's because people don't expect anything from me, because I'm usually the one that's like MIA. I'm the one that's like, so
Interesting.
that's my problem. So now when I'm really trying hard to have an actual normal communicative relationship, it's like, oh, that's happening. But I'm like, damn it, did I pick him because of this?
I don't know.
Because of your text habits? Is this why I love you?
Yeah. Oh no, you love him?
No, I don't love
Okay,
you. I
sorry,
do
you're attracted
not
to him.
love
You're into it.
Just,
Yeah.
I am attracted to him. Oh my God.
Yeah, definitely don't listen to this podcast.
Don't listen.
She doesn't love you.
Also, you also had an article about dick videos.
Oh my God, have you ever gotten one of these?
I have never, first of all, I'm embarrassed to say that I had never gotten a dick pic in my whole entire life till 2 months ago. And everyone I know has a million dick pics. Every time I go to my DMs and my private DMs, whatever, it's always a blurred picture for your safety. And I'm like, please be a dick pic. Please be a dick pic. And it's like a bear with a heart, like, I love you. And I'm like,
why is
what
Instagram
the fuck?
blurring
I was like,
that?
I don't want to see that. So I was thinking, like, why me? Just kidding. Why am I not getting dick pics? Like, what is it about me that men don't want to do that? And finally, I had a friend drew a dick, and then he sent it to me in a text, and that was sweet. That was a good friend. But 2 months ago, I requested a dick pic from the guy that I was dating, and I said, can you please, long time ago. Sorry,
not yesterday.
Not long time, but this is crazy. This is why I'm single.
Yeah.
So some guy sent me a dick pic. I requested, I said, can you please, and I think what it is, people don't trust me with a dick pic.
Oh, well, because they think you're going to talk about it on stage or show it.
But even before, my whole life,
podcast.
I mean, I've only done stand-up for 2 years.
Yeah.
So before that, I never got a dick pic.
I actually, maybe that you can use this. You could take this joke that got me a dick pic once. So I invited this guy to a stand-up show, and I told a joke about dick pics, and I was making fun of them. I was like, I don't know, like put a filter on it, like whatever. This was like years ago. And after the show, he sent me a text, and he's like, I really liked your joke about dick pics. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And then all of a sudden, he just sent me a dick pic.
No.
So all he heard was dick pics, and he's like, challenge accepted. So maybe if you talk about dick pics.
But I don't now.
on
I don't want.
stage.
I don't want one. Please don't send me a dick pic. I do not want one. I already got my fix. I got the one. I got the one.
Oh, that's all you needed?
I just wanted to say I got one, you know?
Are dick pics ever a good thing?
Yes, when you're in a relationship.
Yeah, in a good
and you want it,
relationship,
or you're
right?
hooking up with
I
someone.
would love a dick pic
Because I think-
from the guy that I'm dating.
Because I think dick pics and also dick vids, which is now a thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, is great when you're dating someone and you're like into it and you're hooking up. Like, it's personalized porn. Like, who would not want that,
Yeah.
right? But when you
It's a beautiful
don't,
thing.
it's a beautiful thing. But when you don't ask for it, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Also, the guy that sent me a dick pic, he sent me 2. And it was funny because it wasn't like I wanted something like in the moment, right then and there, or just like in that day at least. But
Yeah.
it was like 2 randomly different archived photos that I was like, I don't feel loved right now.
Yeah, you want to know that he spent time
Oh,
Yes.
holding up that
Yes.
peen,
That's
making
hilarious.
sure the lighting was right.
Exactly.
Next time you should be like, yeah, next to a picture of a newspaper. You know, like
Dang,
I want to know.
that
I
want to
know that this is a current DP,
yes.
That's hilarious.
not one of your archives.
I know. I don't think any guy has actually really thought about that.
Yeah.
Because it was like awkward. It was like one was like I think he was at work, and then another one a whole different pants, and it was just
Whole
like
different pants.
within seconds I'm like, dude, this is just rude. Like I'm offended. Like
Yeah.
you
That's so funny.
ruined dick
You
pics for
ruined
me.
it.
Well,
for
maybe
the
he
rest
like
of
if
my
you think about it, like maybe he's been trying to take great dick pics for a long time, and these are 2 of the best pics he's ever taken. And he's like, it takes a while. Maybe it took him years to get one really good one, or maybe even 2. And he's like, well, I want to send it. You know, if I'm going to try to wing it and open mic a new dick pic, I can't be. Maybe he wants to give you the best
You
of the
wanna
best,
give the
the
eye. Well,
goods.
that's true.
Do you have like sexy shots that you keep on file to send guys?
I don't. I've never sent a sexy picture in my life.
Really? I mean, I'm
No.
not saying I've never sent.
I mean,
Sorry.
I've never
No.
sent a picture of my boobs with my face in it, but I've sent pictures, and they're usually like, usually it's like clothes, and I'm just like maybe like wearing like a bra, and I like, you've never done that, like a bra?
No, you know what? I've never done that. It's crazy.
I feel like yeah.
I need to live.
Maybe that's why you're not getting dick pics, because you're not sending sexy photos. It's
But
like
I
it's a
wasn't.
two-way
But I was
street.
not getting unsolicited.
Yeah,
That was the
a thing.
problem.
Yeah, and
that was now. I know, but I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah. Just have them.
Yeah.
Have them on file.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do
Just
it
like they
for
do. Just be
myself.
like, here we go. Yeah, I look cute. Like when you're feeling yourself, just be like, yeah. Definitely, I do recommend, never put your face in the picture with your boobs, because then it gets traced back to you. And then if you are going to have your face in it, make sure your boobs are covered, especially the nips. That's my mentality, at least.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. For
You're
that.
welcome.
it'd be funny to have full
very
underneath with your
inspired.
chin, like double
Just
chin.
like this, like,
and-
hey guys.
Let's see what else do I have here. I had like so many questions.
Oh, yeah. Ask away.
Or also when you date someone. Also, this is also a thing that so I'm getting crazy as normal. And I was like, I'm deleting all my dating apps. I just said that.
Oh, you know how many times I've done that? And then re-downloaded them?
Well, no, my friend was like, don't. And I was like, why? And they're like, do you know how long it's going to take for you to reinstall and figure all that shit out?
Oh, no. You just delete it from your phone, and then when you re-download
And
it,
it's
everything's
fine?
the
Everything's
same.
same?
Yeah.
Okay.
What friend is this?
I
This is
don't
not a
know.
friend.
It was a guy.
Oh, that's
Maybe
why.
he didn't
Maybe it's for
know.
the, I don't know. I know dating apps are different for
He
guys
was like,
than girls.
keep them. Don't even do that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and how far? And because of that, I was like, you're right. I should leave it. And how long would I keep them till?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah, I don't know. I think delete if you want, but you could always reinstall. And
I don't. Yeah, it would feel good too because I'm a crazy. Like I do think that I am one of those people that have become addicted to dating online, and I like any day I could be doing something and I'm like multitasking, working, and then I'm on Tinder as well. I'm just like boom, and it's a problem.
Yep, I had the same thing, and actually I've deleted all my apps now, and I have all this extra time that I don't know what to do with. It's weird.
Oh my god! You know what? Someone said that they had. You know how it tells you how many minutes or hours you're on Instagram? It was the same for dating apps.
Oh no!
And this
I don't wanna know.
one guy I dated, I went on a couple of dates with him, and he was like, "Yeah, he's like, I spend like 7 hours a day on dating apps," and I'm like, "Ew, I don't want to date you."
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
disgusting.
That's like half a day. That's half a. Does he have a job?
He has a job.
Like how?
I don't know.
Yikes! Yeah, no.
What's your favorite dating app?
I would have to say Bumble.
Oh,
I really like Bumble the most because I think also Bumble has like they get it. Like the guys on also Bumble stands up for you because I had a guy catfish me. I got a guy harass me off Bumble on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
Like he found me on Instagram and he found the 30 dates piece and he was like making fun of me and he was like this is bad journalism, you're terrible. He's like harassing me. And I sent it to Bumble and they got him kicked off the app.
Oh, wow.
So Bumble like
That's
really
wonderful.
It feels like a safe place. They care about women. I feel like the guys on Bumble respect women more than other dating apps. And also they the other thing I like about it too is that like now they have this feature where women have to start the conversation where they give you conversation starters, which is fun.
They do.
Yeah, and so
that's the one app that I don't have.
you need Bumble. That's why you're single.
No, because I don't. I didn't like it because it was you having to initiate. And for me, I am so lazy. I am so lazy when it comes to dating that I'm just like, I don't care, and I'll match you, and then I'm like, I'm busy, and then I won't. So I need someone that's going to be aggressive if they really want to see me.
But here's the thing. So I haven't actually released this yet, but I will tell you what's happening. I have a boyfriend now.
Oh.
And I met him on Bumble.
Wow.
And he is like a catch and like he's the best. And it's because I think it was because of that setting, and also I was the same way, feeling fatigued, feeling lazy. And I sent one of their I commented on his profile. We didn't text that much, but like we both clearly wanted to see each other. We had a date. We had an amazing date. We've been dating ever since. But I think that there's something like it's like just because you're saying the opening line, it doesn't mean that it's like you have to be the one pushing the relationship forward. And I think in any relationship, you don't want to be the one pushing the relationship forward. You should I do kind of believe in the old school patterns. You should let the guy also lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe I will give it up. But my favorite's Hinge.
Hinge is good, but Hinge is also sometimes it's like too much because there's so much information, and then you get like creepy guys like commenting on like how your parents met, and you're like, I don't know you, Joe 27, like leave me alone.
Too much
it's like too much information. Like I do like how Bumble, it's like you can just have a conversation and then you go on the date, and I feel like and also like the things like, are they looking for a relationship? It says right there. Are they not? Are they looking for a hookup? Like you can tell a lot about a guy from it.
I haven't been in forever on that. So.
You should get on Bumble.
Okay.
I feel like you should get on Bumble.
Hinge I like because I know if I like someone or not immediately. Like with their answers and their questions that they pick, I'm like, oh, I'm attracted to you, but we're not gonna vibe. So next. And I think that's the best.
Yeah, so you just do that.
And every guy that I've met on there has been like more serious about dating.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I've Hinge, and then I think there are some on Bumble too. But I mean, whatever works for you is what you should pick.
Yeah.
Or something. Oh, and then this is interesting too. So Tinder just released a new feature, which I think is pretty cool, called Swipe Night. So every Sunday night, you can go on Tinder and you can play this like choose your own adventure game about the apocalypse. And you make these decisions that are really telling into your character, and then you could see other people who've played it and what they picked, and then that's an easy conversation starter. that they might start with you or you start with them because you're like, oh, you have a choice to like save the puppy or save a person. And then if they save the puppy or the person, you can comment on it and be like, why did you not save the puppy? That girl was like the worst, or like, etc. So that also feels like, I feel like,
fun.
yeah, and dating apps I feel like are trying to do this because that's like, and that Hinge does that too. Hinge has the automatic conversation starter in there from the information that people reveal about themselves, right?
I don't even know. See, I as much as I'm on it, I did not even know that.
Well, no,
That's
just
so
like
cool.
if you match with someone from Hinge, you're not going to message them first, right?
No.
But they know about you based on how you filled out your profile. So they might say something to you about like, oh my gosh, I also love going to Italy or whatever you posted, right?
Yeah.
And then you automatically have an icebreaker because there's nothing worse than when someone messages you on a dating app and they're like, hey, what's up? Like,
And there's no way.
because where's that conversation going? You know, like you need something that feels like, you know, personal and real to connect to like start the conversation.
Do you also think that you have to? Do you like texting a lot before you meet someone, or
There's
not?
the balance because I've also had the pen pal. And actually, one of the 30 dates we had amazing, like text message on the app, on text message. We met in person. There were no sparks. We went on a second date. And actually, I had one of the, this really happened. Went on a second date and there was just, again, no sparks. But there was an earthquake that night. And so I joked, it's like I went on a date, thought I felt something. Turns out it was just the And I never heard from him again.
No, and you posted that?
No, on Twitter. I don't know if he's following me on Twitter.
Oh, God, so good.
Yeah, but I mean, come
but
on.
you have to. What do you...
Like there was, and it was so, this guy was like so cute. He was like my type on paper, like totally like funny, like witty, like, but there just wasn't that chemistry in person and I could not put my finger on it.
I recently met a guy on Hinge. Not recently. I met a while ago. I keep saying that. But I was talking to this guy on Hinge, and the first night, which this was the first red flag, is he, I told him, I was like, well, I have a show, so I'm going to, if you want to meet for a drink after, and at this point, it's like 11:30ish, and I guess most people have normal jobs, so they can't do that. But he was like, I'm so, like in my PJs, like, so why don't I just come over with a bottle of wine? I'm like, I have never met you.
Yeah,
that's not going to
and that's a
happen.
big red flag,
That's
and I'm
a huge
happy
red
you said
flag.
no. I'm happy you said no.
No, but then he said, well, okay, fine. Why don't I just pick you up and we go for a long drive?
No.
Jesus.
In his,
serial killer?
PJs? Absolutely not.
I was like, this is terrifying. And I was like, I can't do that. That's ridiculous. Do you understand that that's not safe and not normal?
Yeah.
And he was like, no. And then he's like, how about I call you and maybe you'll feel better about it. So of course I think I was just bored. And I was like, sure. So we talk on the phone for like a good hour, and we had great banter, and we were like laughing, and I had a great time. And then he was like, yeah, I just wanted to take you to like Mulholland Drive, thought it would be fun. I'm like, that's where they have scary movies are shot. Like, you can't take someone, I've never met you, but he was also not from here, he was from England.
Oh,
so I was like, you
that's
probably,
why the conversation went so well, because of that sweet accent.
Yes. And he was only here for like a month, so I was like, this is fun, right?
Yeah.
And he lived a block away from me. But what happened was we never ended up meeting, and we text for 2 months straight.
Stop it. Stop texting him. At that point, no.
But we finally met. But it was like fun. It was like every message we were like, we had fights. Like, how could you do this to me? And you're like, we've never met, but I'm like pissed off at you right now.
And what happened when you finally met?
It was no chemistry, no spark whatsoever.
No.
It was the craziest thing to have that dynamic and be like, oh, we just are so comfortable and fun and great. And then you meet and we're sitting there and I'm like, I want to go to sleep. I'm going to go to sleep. And that was the opposite with the other guy that I dated a guy who was a bad texter. And he just like, how was your day? Good, thank you. Like, but he'll ask me, so it's not like he's not interested. He's interested, but he just doesn't engage. But the most chemistry in person, where I'm like, oh my gosh, talk about everything, talk about feelings, cuddling, like, it's so nice. But I'm like, that's where I realized, I'm like, texting I can't put it all on that at all.
No, you can't. There's a balance, and it's like you don't want a pen pal. You want to meet in person, but you don't want to meet in person too soon. You want to have some conversation before you meet, right?
Yeah.
Then you want to meet them sooner rather than later, and then you want to like make sure you guys vibe on that date, and maybe go on a second date, and see how it goes.
Also, not talk about everything, so when you see each other, you can
there should still be like an element
conversation.
of mystery. Again, the mystery. It's like keep the mystery alive.
I love the mystery.
Don't tell him everything.
No.
But
also I am the person that will tell you nothing.
That's
That's
good.
my problem. Yeah,
That's
I guess
good.
it's good.
Yeah.
I like to think so. I one time dated a guy, and actually this was when we were in improv together.
Oh, no way. Wait, did you? I remember you having a boyfriend when we did improv
Oh,
together.
okay. That was
Like a live-in boyfriend?
No, not live-in.
But he was like always there.
Yeah, I had a very serious. What? Oh wait, because you came to my apartment.
Yeah, we used to do like practices and stuff.
Yeah.
No, maybe we were in more than one improv level together, right?
Maybe, but we did. That's the thing. We just did the practices. I don't think we did more than one.
Were you? Well, I think you weren't in 101. I think we were like in like the higher levels because we were doing practices, and I think we even were going to start an improv team.
Yeah.
And we never did, which is great.
No,
I think that's
we also had coaches come over.
Yeah, we paid more money that we didn't have to learn this very valuable improv skill.
And my boyfriend was probably yes.
Yes,
there.
your boyfriend. It was always at your house.
Yeah.
You used to live in the same place?
No.
That was a cute place.
That was a great. It was so cheap. That apartment.
Cute. Oh my god.
That apartment was 1,400 square feet, right by the Grove.
Duplex, right?
It was a fourplex.
Oh.
But it was like half of the floor. It was like so huge. And we got our landlord to lower our rent after a couple years. Like it was.
What was wrong? Was there anything wrong with it?
No, but it was $2,100 for a 2-bedroom.
That is a steal.
With washer, dryer, 2 parking spots, everything.
Stop it. Why did you ever leave this place?
We contacted him and said, "Hey, Lorraine can't afford rent anymore."
Is that true?
I don't even know what the fuck. It was a long time ago, and I said, and he was like, "Okay, well, what if I lower your rent to $1,800?" He lowered our rent to $1,800.
That's the price of a shitty studio.
And I moved out. Yeah, but
it's a good tactic.
Yeah.
Just ask.
Right?
Sorry, can't.
My roommate thought of it. She was like, "Let's just ask him," and I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Okay, we did," but he was also a dick.
Oh.
So there was one time where we our toilet kept getting clogged. Like it was like just the system. The place is so old, and when we contacted him to get it fixed, he was like, "Oh, no." He's like, "I had the plumber there, and I'm gonna pay for it this time, but then next time, I'm gonna charge you because he found condoms and tampons in the toilet." And first of all, no one was using condoms in that apartment.
Yeah.
And no one was putting tampons in there because we're not fucking idiots.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But how disgusting and rude is that? And one time.
So rude. So disgusting.
45. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I don't put condoms in.
Okay, no,
yeah,
wait.
no.
What, did you have a comment on that?
No.
Yeah. No, but also one time someone tried to I feel like he was trying to kill me in my apartment, and it's too long of a story. But he never came in the apartment. He was hiding in there's a stairway up to the next level, and he was hiding. And I saw him. It was 3 a.m. I was pulling up.
Who was this person? Do you know?
No. Full ski mask. Black
shit.
gloves. Completely just. And in that neighborhood, you have your windows open because it's just
AC.
normal.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is so weird. But something in my gut told me I can't go into the back, and it was like tandem parking. So I would park behind my roommate, and I would walk up, but it's all dark. There's no lights at all, and I would come through the side door, and he was in that right next to the side door waiting, and the backpack was in front of under a bush. I could see it. I call the cops. Immediately, I see him peeking out, just staring at me. So I'm pretending I'm on my phone talking and being like, "Oh my gosh, blah, 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 blah," pretending I'm having a great conversation. And then the helicopter comes right away, puts the lights on him. They get him. He's on the floor.
Oh,
they
my
take him in.
goodness.
But so after that whole situation, nothing happened. The cops were dicks. The landlord was
Got
a
a
dick.
helicopter coming.
Sorry. You're like, wait a minute. Are you sure? I'm like, the cops suck.
They brought a helicopter, then they probably were pissed because was he
No,
not?
but they were saying, they were like, well, we can't do anything about it because he didn't technically do anything wrong. And when I went to the police station, they were like, "This is none of your business. He didn't do anything to you."
What was in his backpack?
And I know.
Why was he
no
wearing
one
a
would
ski
tell me
mask?
anything. But
Why
then
was he sitting there?
But they were like, so then I told my landlord, "Hey, can you put a light in the back, like a sensor light?" And he said, no. He's like, "You have to go to the police and get a report and tell me and give me the actual report that's
like-
the only way I'm going to do it. And I'm like, this is so in that
Were you
way
do
I
you
was
not see
like,
the helicopter?
yeah, no, but then in that way I'm like, you know what? I deserve that money back because you're
Yeah.
an asshole,
Yeah.
you know? So I didn't feel bad. I don't even think I was broke. I think I just lied. I was like, let's just get extra money. I don't know. Could have been. It was a long time ago. But I like to let end on maybe like a life lesson. Do you have
Sure.
anything that you have?
I think a life lesson would be, I think with dating and anything in life is like, don't ever try to change who you are to be with someone else. And don't be afraid to say what you need to say in dating and just like be an open book, because I think the best relationships are founded on honesty and communication and also to don't like, there's someone out there for everyone. And I think just like, and maybe that someone might not be your husband or wife, but it could be someone that you have like a really great month with. And so go out there. Go on dates, keep an open heart and open mind. But also, if someone isn't treating you right, like, don't give them your time.
I agree, guys. I really do. I second that.
That's my deep advice.
Do you have anything that you want to plug or talk about?
Yeah. So definitely watch the video on Cosmo, the 30 Dates in 3 Days on their YouTube channel. Also read the article and check out Cosmo, because I do contribute usually like weekly to them. So definitely check that out. I'm on Instagram at It's Gabi Conti, ITSGABICONTI. And keep an eye out for my book that comes out in the spring, 20 Guys You Date in Your 20s.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm very excited to read it.
Yeah. No, I know. I can't wait for you to read it. It's really exciting.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Lorraine Lopez Loves Gabi Conti. Yay.